Hello, welcome back, everybody, to WWTA News. That is what we talk about news. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I don't know. We just gonna talk. We gonna talk this out. We're gonna do some talking. We're gonna talk it out. Before we do, hit that like button if you already have not done so, and don't forget to share this with your family, friends, loved ones, and those who you think could use some of this information. So obviously, this is a blog channel, right? We're gonna talk about things. We talk about things in the news having to do with the economy, finance. Even as far as investing with cryptocurrencies, and I should probably talk about a little bit about stocks as well. I'm not really into that stuff at this moment. I just move my money in different locations, and that's not where it's at right now. But it's stuff we should talk about. So it's WWTA news. So let's talk about these things. So what is going on, right? I know everybody's looking at the markets like, oh my God, everything is crazy, right? And we're looking at, so many things we're looking at, right? Check it out. So what's going on in the housing market, right? What is going on? It is in some places it is hard to find a home and to buy a home. And in some places, it's about to become very easy to purchase homes because there are migrations happening within the confines of North America. And let me be very clear, we're talking about North America. I don't know about any other areas, but just looking at what's happening in North America, you do have a lot of migration. Um, a lot of things have caused this. At one point we were hearing a lot of people leaving the West because of all the fires they had years ago. We also heard cost of living that went through the roof. That's why we were hearing about in the news so many homeless people living all over the West on the coastal side. And so, uh, cost of everything, I guess, had already been going up. We also have all the changes that came from the quote unquote crisis that we had with the sickness. We have, for the longest time, had trade relations issues. The stuff we hear about now really isn't anything new. It was talk in the news years ago that, for instance, Russia didn't want to send anything or drop anything off on our coast if they were going to be paid in the United States dollar, so they were like, nah, if they're paying dollar, we're not dropping anything. So so many things have just been going on um, in the U.S. as far as the economy goes. And here we are now. We're looking at uh, lack of different items in stores, at different stores around us. And some stores might not be having the problem. It is what it is. But a lot of stores are having these problems. One of the major things we see on local news, I see on local news, is the crisis with baby formula and manufacturing. So we look at the United States again and we say, okay, well, what happened that we don't really have manufacturing in the United States? Don't blame COVID. Don't blame Ukraine. Years ago, manufacturing began to move to different continents or countries because it was cheaper, very, very cheaper. So, you look at the fact, and I use an example just so you get an understanding. You look at the fact to say something like you leave and go into Mexico and you convert US dollars into Mexican peso. You've got more Mexican peso in a sense by numbers than you do of your dollars. So, and then it's cheaper. Um, it's cheaper from your dollar to the peso, right? So, I don't know. Just imagine a beer cost, I don't know, 20, let's say 20 pesos, right? I don't know. Let's just say it's 20 pesos. And let's just say a dollar is valued at, oh man, I don't, what's the value of a dollar for a peso? I don't know. let's just give it a number. Let's just say you can get 40 or 50 pesos, Mexican pesos for $1. I don't know. Post in the comments below. So I'm just throwing numbers out there. So let's just say you get 50 pesos for $1, $1 US. Now you've got the amount of 2 beers, right? And so let's just say that's what they cost over there. Now, what does it cost for a beer here in the States if you're at a bar or a restaurant? With inflation now, it might be $4, $5, $6 for that one beer. But, so you look and you say, well, that's crazy. Like, why does it take so many of these? But then in pesos, it takes so many of those, right? It's like 25 pesos or something, right? So, you can see that the strength, there's something going on with the strength in which you can get, what your value is. You know what I'm saying? So that's been changing for years. There is nothing new about that. That's been going on, okay? So we look at the housing market, we look at what's going on with fuel, we look at what's going on with merchandise and stores, and we say there's a whole lot of things that are making all these things possible here in the States and as well across what we know as the world. So all these things are happening all over. We're having drought in some areas, so food production has dwindled. So this is causing another problem, which is raising the prices of the foods that you'll buy in the store. You're going to see markups there. And so all these things are causing this situation we're dealing with in the United States right now. Okay. And with that, we're seeing stocks drop in value. We're seeing cryptocurrency drop in value. And a lot of people are probably scared. They're like, oh my God, everything's red. I've never seen numbers this low. And so some of you that are new probably haven't seen numbers this low. If you've been in here for a couple of years, you've seen numbers get this low, but don't fret and don't fear, because we keep up with the news around here. So what, bruh? We've been keeping up with the fact that tech companies are still moving in this space. We've looked at news where stores will still be accepting payment, digital, so on and so forth. We do understand this is a new financial system, and it will allow them to better track, not manage your funds, but better track where money goes, especially when you get into taxes and tax evasion and then other criminal activities. So it's very important that this is something that happens. We need legislation. It is what it is. So cryptos and stocks, they're not going anywhere because stocks are shares of a company. Now, it might change how we get these shares of stocks. That might change. I suspect, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. But I suspect that eventually, stock shares will probably convert into non-fungible tokens. I can see that. I could see 5 shares being represented by one NFT that says 5 shares of ExxonMobil, right? And then you'll purchase that NFT of 5 shares of ExxonMobil for X amount of dollars, and then now your ownership of those shares is stored either cold or hot in your wallets under your control. Nobody's holding it. There's no exchange responsible for holding this stuff. There's no brokerage firm. Nobody's holding it. It's being held in your wallet, which makes you fully responsible for it. So if it's stolen, hacked, whatever the case may be, you're screwed. But what does that also mean once it goes on the blockchain, right? Check it out. This is what I suspect is coming. So let's just say that once it's on the blockchain, a dividend is going to go straight to that wallet, to that actual currency, right? That NFT, right? So imagine you're holding an NFT in your wallet. And the NFT is for the 5 shares of ExxonMobil, and then ExxonMobil puts out a dividend every quarter. Let's just say this is the power that blockchain can do for us. So let's just say now on the quarter, for your shares, you get a dividend of, let's say USDC or USDD. let's say they airdrop that to you to pay you your dividend, right? Because it's just airdropping to your wallet. It's wherever your NFT is. So if your NFT is coded to XYZ wallet, or you can probably link up to pull your dividends out because API. So let's just back up and backtrack and let's see it this way. Let's just see an example. So let's see an example is you connect your wallet, or you have your wallet API'd already to directly to Exxon, right? Exxon sold you the share, or maybe you got it from an exchange. You bought it on an exchange. So then that share would be sent through a channel directly to it, so you could have it that way. And I'm just speculating ideas here. Maybe you link that wallet with your NFTs in it back to the exchange where you got it from, or maybe to the actual company, and then boom, you get airdropped your dividends. Just possibilities, things to think about. These things could happen. And so this is why I don't think stocks can exist the way they exist now in such a highly technical and advanced system. I don't think it can survive that way. I think it has to evolve. So, I know the markets look crazy, but you got to look at everything else, the bigger picture. You can't say, oh man, I put X amount of dollars and I lost X amount of dollars, and this market's it's crazy, I'm getting out. That makes no sense. That's short term, right? That's just seeing everything in the short term because you can see it. This is what hurts a lot of us, because we can see it. Because you can load that app up, you can pull up that information and then see that yesterday you were at X amount of dollars and today you're down. You see what I'm saying? So because you have that ability and you're not used to or comprehend what's happening, you look at that short term. You say, oh my gosh, I'm bleeding out money. I'm bleeding out money. I'm bleeding out assets. I've got to get from up under them, right? And you're thinking you've got to sell those assets so you don't lose any money. But because you're looking at it on a daily basis, you haven't backed up to see what it does on a 3-month, 6-month, 1 year, all time. What if the all-time height grew? Let's go with, I don't know. Let's say XRP, right? And let's say XRP had at one point in time an all-time high of $2.85, right? And let's say right now you look at the market, and say, oh, it was 71 cents a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 71 cent value per XRP, and you say, look at this, oh my God, it's like 38.40 cents. You look at it every other day, it's like 38 cents, 42 cents, 39 cents, 44%. You see what I'm saying? It's bouncing up and down, and you see it drop down to 20 cents. Oh my God, it's bleeding out, You want to get it. But if you go back a few years, you'll see that it had a value of 280 something. It started from zero and it worked its way up, and it's dropped. Is it going to go back to zero? Who knows? But is it near zero? No. So you say, okay, well, where did you buy your value at, right? So if you bought in at 70 cents and it's down to 38 cents, you're new to the space, right? You're new to those assets. So you're going to be like, oh, I'm selling. This market's bad because it's down 38 cents and it was around 70 when you got it. But even before that, it was at an all-time high of 280. You see what I'm saying? So there could be a lot of confusion in that as we look at the markets. We'll say, oh my God, the markets are bad, I've got to get out. Instead of looking at the long-term goal, we're looking years out. We're not looking day to day. You look day to day, you're going to see crazy, volatile stuff happening all the time. But if you zoom out, if you back up your view, it doesn't look that crazy. It just doesn't. It's just numbers on a chart. You see the little chart angles as it goes up, where it holds around. You might be saying, okay, well look, XRP, it held for the longest time at 40 some cents. It held like what, darn near a year at that price. So look at the consistency there. That's not really volatile. So when crazy things happen, and I'm going to close with this so I don't get too long-winded. When crazy things happen, we look at, for instance, the printing of money. You know what I'm saying? And so all these other things that happen that we talked about at the beginning of this video, all those other things are happening. But let's now take into account inflation and what inflation really is based on what's been done. So what's been done is the printing of dollars that don't have a a representation of any value to back them being printed, and then they're put into play in the market, which basically it's almost like cutting weed with oregano. You know what I'm saying? Even though you can tell the smell, but just you're cutting something that was pure and original and right. You're cutting it with something else, lessening the effect, lessening, and there it is, lessening the effect of the value. So because that happened and the value of the dollar was lessened, we're looking at the market and it's crazy. People are swapping out their currency and their assets to get into dollars so they can continue to live their lives. What do you mean? I mean, people got to go to work. They got to put fuel in their vehicles. They got to get groceries. They got to keep the roof over their head. They got to keep the stuff they need inside the house. All this stuff has to be done. And so people are going to withdraw. They're withdrawing like every day. Times is tough. Times is hard. But if you don't have to withdraw, why would you? I don't have to withdraw. It just sits there. I don't care. I've been to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't scare me at all. Not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm just speaking on where I've been in life so far in this space. Didn't I tell you to get long-winded? Slow down. We don't want to get too long-winded, bro. You talk too much. So what I'm really saying here is everything looks crazy, right? We'll talk more about this at another time. But everything looks crazy. But we can't let everything that looks crazy actually disrupt our way of thinking. The future and the big plan, obviously, is to get yourself in a position financially where you can do stuff like leave your job, not work at your job, and then have your money making money and supplying you so you can do better things for your family and grow your family even more. So with all that in mind, that's why we look long term for all this stuff. We can't let the short term daily stuff hinder us. We got big things to do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close there. Like I said, just want to talk a little bit about what's going on with the economy here in the United States and everything else. I will talk more about this stuff, just sharing my thoughts and opinion because it's blog talk to me. I'm just talking about stuff. And you can always chime in the comments below. I have no problem reading off comments and discussing them and sharing them with the community as well. So you can always post your comments at the bottom and we can talk about that stuff as well. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and yeah, we'll get into some more stuff a little bit later.